Hi everyone, just let me check whether my streaming is good. Chalo, I think everyone can hear me. Just put a thumbs up if they can hear me. Put a thumbs up if you can hear me. Hello. So anyways, good morning everyone. I hope you are doing today. It's a beautiful day to start a beautiful chapter, and that is why we are taking rectification of errors. Okay, why we are taking specifically rectification of errors? Because we want to learn this chapter first and we want to rectify the errors of not studying previously. We have barely 3 months for us to actually start, to give your exams. We are in September, we have September, October, November. So that is why we are starting. That's now rectify your error and start preparing. Okay. So what is this session about? Let's first understand that. See, we have seen that a lot of questions that you see in the examination and now that you will see that are being solved are more or less from the ICAI perspective. Okay, so just because it is from ICAI perspective, we wanted to ensure, like our team wanted to ensure that you at least bare minimum practice all those questions and you go into the examination hall, so that if a question comes for, let's say, 10 marks, least you are able to score bare minimum 8 marks in it. Maybe one transaction you might not know, that's why you miss it out, but other than that, maximum transactions you are able to tackle it. So that is the entire crux of this live session. What we will do in this live session, we will more or less practice all the questions of ICAI from May 18 to till date. Till date means what? RTP of November 2022 has come. So from May 18 till RTP of November 2022, all the questions will practice of a particular chapter. Now, so in what order will you give the chapters and all? Whatever chapters I feel are important. Like I feel rectification of errors is important. More or less in every attempt, questions come from that. BRS is important. More or less every attempt, questions come from that. So those kind of things we will try to tackle. Okay, so we will practice all such questions. Second, what are the basics that I need you to know before you go into the live session? Good morning. So what are the basics that I need you to know? First, for this rectification of errors portion, the basic I feel that you should know is you should know the basics of journal entries, how journal entries have come up and everything like that. Okay, so journal entries you should know. Second, the theory part you should know, because if you do not know the theory part, like what is error of omission, error of commission, all that you should know, so that because I will directly jump into sums, I will not discuss any theoretical questions that you have to study on your own. Practical sums will be discussed in class. Let me make this crystal clear. Only practical sums will be discussed in class. Okay, so that you have to keep in mind. Second is that you have to go through this question bank. See, I have given this question bank. So, but you might be like, sir, where is this question bank? Okay, so in the link given in the description, you can download this question bank and you can take a print and you can use it. So from May 18 till November 22 RTP, all the questions are covered. Down the line, once we get the MTPs for November 22, that also separately I record a video and I'll put it there. Okay, so you need not worry about it. So you will have everything. Okay, next is that now let's see what exactly we will be dealing here. So let's start with rectification of errors. Okay, we have 3 categories of rectification. I'm assuming you people know about the basics. That's why I'm directly starting with the sums. So there are 3 categories of sums that you will be dealing with. Category 1 is two-sided errors. So any two-sided errors that happens, how will we rectify it? That we will see then. Category 2 is one-sided error. What do we mean by one-sided error? Suspense account. How we use suspense account? We use suspense account in 2 cases. Once when the question tells us to use suspense account, and one when there's one-sided error, that time we use suspense account. Trial balance is prepared After that, we have to rectify any errors. That time we use suspense account. Okay. So suspense account, what you might think, what is suspense account? Suspense account is nothing but a guy in the first few months of a relationship. Babu, the bitter god is very sweet. If the girlfriend asks. So that is what is suspense account. It will be whatever you want it to be. Okay. There's no nature, nothing. It will be whatever the other account wants it to be. It will become that. Okay. Next is category 3, that is after preparation of financial statements or after book closure. Okay, so after book closure, how do we rectify errors? That we will understand in category 3. In these categories, we discuss 3 categories. There is actually only 2 questions. That too, those 2 questions are similar, whereby both they have asked if suspense account is not opened, if suspense account is not opened, or if suspense account is opened, if suspense account is not opened, how will you treat it? Okay, so that is just 2 questions. And even after category 3, we have a question where they have told that make the entries assuming that before trial balance is prepared, after trial balance is prepared, and after book closure. So those are 2-3 questions. So we need not pester and get into that category. Broadly, we have these 3 categories to look into. Okay, so question bank, please download it from the link given in the description, and we will start off with question 7. Now to the students in my class, generally if even they found rectification, they had this dilemma, the fear that rectification is very hard. Whenever people hear about rectification of errors, they're like, oh my god, rectification. But after this session, I can guarantee you'll be like, oh my god, rectification. This is how your perspective about rectification of errors will change. I'll ensure to make this session as student friendly as possible, and I'll ensure to practice as many questions as possible. And remember, I won't practice similar questions here, because if only the numbers have changed but the journal entries are same, that you can practice on your own. So keep that also in your mind. Apart from that, you should also remember that please, today if you watch, these lectures might be divided into 3-4 parts. Every session is of 2 hours. I actually initially thought, I'll be very honest, that I will take an 8-hour session, full rectification of errors I'll complete. But then I have love towards you people also, so that's why I was like, okay, you know what, we'll split it into parts and we'll do it. So in the thumbnail you would have seen part 1 is given because there'll be a part 2 and part 3 coming. So treat it as the MCU version, part 1, what will be in the next class. So like that, treat it, and we'll ensure more and more of such sessions we'll create. So we are starting with rectification of errors for now. So keep your copies ready with you, keep the questions ready with you, and you also practice with me. This is not a one-on-one session whereby I will just talk and you will just listen, sir is telling, sir is telling. Don't keep that in your mind. Please ensure you are also practicing as I tell. Okay, so one thing I would like to tell is, keep one mantra in your mind when you get into practicing such sessions and all. When you get into accounts, when you feel any topic is hard, there's one mantra which I tell to all my students, and I'll tell it to you. So enchant it. It goes like, why fear when Deepak sir is here? This is specifically for paper 1. Whenever you get scared, enchant it 3 times, and then your fear will run away and you will get solution to it. Okay, so this is the mantra you should keep in your mind. Why fear when Deepak sir is here? Chalo. So let's start with the first sum. First sum I'll take very slowly for you to understand. I'll explain you, and then gradually keep increasing the speed. Okay, chalo. First sum. Now this is category 1 sum, 2-sided error. Okay, so this is category 1 sum, 2-sided error. Suspense account won't play a role here. One more thing, I apologize if my handwriting is a little bad, because my handwriting is not that great, I'll be very honest. And I've heard a thing like, if the handwriting is not good, it's because your brain is thinking too fast. That's why you're not able to keep a good handwriting. So this is how I've consoled myself into accepting that my handwriting is not good, and I'm okay with it. Okay, so jokes apart, let's start now. Chalo. So whenever we start a question, remember you need to make 3 columns. Okay, so for rectification of errors, before getting into the question only, make 3 columns. First is the correct column, the wrong column, the rectification entry column. Okay, if you want to comment anything, you can comment. I am looking into the comments also through YouTube, so you can tell me. Okay, anything you want to comment and good morning everyone, because I got so many comments, that's why. Chalo. So correct, wrong and rectification entry column. What do I mean by that? Whatever correct entry that was supposed to come will come over here. Whatever wrong entry that actually happened will come over here, and what is the rectification entry that I have to post to correct the error will come over here. So I can say that these two columns are my working node and this is my final answer. Okay, this is my final answer. So you need not take all the three columns and make it. Only if this you put it in your answer sheet, you can you'll get full marks. Narration, again I won't be writing. Narration is essentially you just copy the question and put it. So narration I won't be writing for each and every transaction because it will consume a lot of time and we need to complete as much questions as possible. So let's understand. A purchase of 5,600 from Miss Meenu and Co. Okay, first stop there. Okay, do not read the entire question then get confused. Don't do that. Okay, first see what should have been the correct entry. A purchase of 5,600 from Miss Meenu and Co. So what will be the correct entry? Tell me. Purchases account debit to Miss Meenu and Co. account. How much the amount should have been? 5,600, 5,600. Okay, that should have been the correct entry. Okay, then what happened? Was recorded in the accounts of Miss Mintu and Co. Instead of Meenu, it was recorded in the books of Miss Mintu. It was recorded in the party ledger of Miss Mintu as rupees 6,500. Okay, so now they are telling day book entry has also been passed incorrectly. That means in the primary book itself there has been a wrong entry. Therefore in the secondary books there will obviously be the carry forward effect there. So what has happened? What is the wrong entry? What is the wrong entry? Purchases account debit to MS Mintu and Co. 6,500. This is the wrong entry. So once you get your right entry and your wrong entry in place, then rectification entry becomes a cakewalk. I'll tell you how. See, purchases account debit 5,600, whereas you see this purchase account should have been debited by 5,600, but it has been debited to the extent of 6,500. So this particular transaction, if I may, has two amounts. One is 5,600. One is how much extra? Tell me. 900. So up to the extent of 5,600, it is right. Yes or no? And if something is right, will we change it? If someone is right, will we go and tell them, "Arey yaar, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?" If they are doing the right thing, we'll just be okay. No, okay, fine. He's doing the right thing. I do not want to interfere there. Okay. So up to the extent of 5,600, I won't interfere here. Okay, that is not my place. Purchase should have been recorded at 5,600. It for one part has been recorded at 5,600. Only the remaining 900 is wrong, right? So when someone is wrong, you tell them, "Arey yaar, go, you go." Okay, so we are also telling purchase, you are sitting in debit, go. So if purchase has to go, where will it go? Tell me. It will go in the credit. If it's sitting in debit, the 900 extra portion, and we tell them to go, then the other chair left is credit. So what will I do? To purchases account 900. Okay. So with that we are done with purchase. Okay, so this is done. Chalo. Next, to Miss Meenu and Co account 5,600. Now this comes in the correct side. When someone is correct, do we tell them no, you go and all? No, right? We'll tell them what they are doing, let them do. So Meenu should have been credited by 5,600, but it was not. So we show love towards them and like, oh, you should have been credited. No issues. I will credit you. So I will put to Miss Meenu and Co account 5,600. Okay, then this is also done. Next, Mintu and Co has been credited to the extent of 6,500. Now this is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. So what we'll do if someone is wrong, we'll tell like chi go. Then if he's sitting in credit and we are telling him to go, where will it land up in debit? So I will debit Miss Mintu and Co account 6,500. So this is your entry. Okay, what is your entry? 5,600. It is Miss Mintu and Co account debit to Miss Meenu and Co account 2 purchases. This is it. This is what rectification is all about. These steps you keep in mind and then you will easily crack any sums. Okay, so now even if you have not had total clarity, as and when we go about the sum, you will understand. As we complete more sums, you will get more clarity, and then you will just write the final answer. Everything will work in your brain and you write the final answer. This is how it will be. You see, I'm guaranteeing you know. Coming to the second transaction. First transaction is done. We are clear. Chalo. A sale of 9,800 to Miss Bantu Bros. Okay. So a sale of 9,800 to MS Bantu Bros. So what will we record? MS Bantu Bros account debit to sales. 9,800. We'll record that. Okay. That is the correct entry. Was recorded in MS Bindu and Co's account as rupees 8,900 and the day book entry has been incorrectly passed. That means in the primary book it is wrong. That means in the secondary book also it will be wrong, right? So what has happened in Bindu and Co account? So what is the wrong entry? Bindu and Co account debit to sales account 8,900. Okay, so now let's analyze this entry. See, let's come from the first. MS Bantu Bros account should have been debited by 9,800, but it has not happened. So it should be right, but we did not do it. Then what will we do? We will debit it, right? So I will debit first. MS Bantu Bros account debit 9,800. Okay, so this entry is done. Sales account should have been credited to the extent of 9,800, but it has been credited only to the extent of 8,900. Yes or no? So in this 8,900 and 900, right? Two transactions are there. Till the 8,900 portion, it has been credited properly, but to the remaining 900 portion, it has not been credited and it stands in the correct side. So additional 900 should be credited. So to sales account 900. So we are done with sales also. Next, Bindu and Co account has been debited to the extent of 8,900. Now that is wrong. No, it shouldn't have been debited to the extent of 8,900, particularly this account, Bindu and Co account. So it is wrong. So if in debit side it's there and it's wrong, we'll push it away. If we push it away, where will it land? It will land in the credit side. So to Bindu and Co account. Okay, so that will be 8,900. So what is the final journal entry? MS Bantu Bros account debit to sales account to Bindu and Co account. That is the final journal entry. Did you people understand? Okay, so coming on to the next transaction. So we have two more transactions. After that, we'll move on to the next sum. Okay. Discount allowed rupees 560 as per the cash book has been posted to commission account, but the cash book total should be 650 because discount allowed of rupees 90 to MS Bantu Bros has been omitted. So here what happened? See, actually they have allowed a discount of 560 first, but it was taken in commissions account, and additionally some 90 rupees discount allowed was not recorded only. So what should be the entry? What should be the correct entry? See, discount allowed account debit to other customers. So I'll just put customers account to Bantu account. I'll not put Bantu Bros account and all. Okay. So to the other customers, it was 560. So I should put 560. Bantu, it was 90, and the total was 650. Right. That should have been the correct entry. Yes or no? That should have been the correct entry. But what happened? See. But the cash book total should be rupees 650 because discount allowed 90 to MS Bantu has been omitted. So what exactly happened was this 560 was taken to commissions account and the 90 rupees given to Bantu was not recorded only. Okay, so what was the wrong entry here? It was commission account debit to customer account. 560 and 560, right? So this is the entry which is wrongly passed. First, it should have been discount allowed, which it was not. It was taken into commission and rupees 90 discount was omitted only. So now, what is the correct entry? Tell me. See, discount allowed should be debited by 560, which is right. So I will debit discount allowed. $650. Okay, because 650 discount allowed should be there, so I'll debit discount allowed. Then customer account, here it's credited to the extent of 560 and here it is credited to the extent of 560. So I'll cancel it. I need not look into it only because be it the right entry or the wrong entry, anyways the amount is same. And the entry, it should be credited customers account 560 and here also credited customers account 560. So why will I even bother to correct anything, right? So customers account I won't touch. Bantu account should have been credited to the extent of 90, but it was not credited. If it was not credited, then ideally I should credit it now to Bantu account 90. Then, so this side is done. Next, commission account should have been debited by 560, but it is wrong. No, it should not be debited. So if something is wrong, I'll tell them to leave the place. If they leave the place of debit, they'll go to the credit. So I'll put to commission account 560. So what is the final entry? Discount allowed account debit to commission account to Bantu account. See, these kind of transactions I assume would be nightmare for you. Oh, how did it come? How did it not come? You apply this simple rule and it will become a cakewalk for you. Just keep this in mind. Anything which is common between the right side, the correct entry, and the wrong entry should be ignored. Anything which is uncommon between the right and the wrong, so whatever is special, unique, separate in the correct column, that you take it as it is. Whatever is unique in the wrong column, that whatever it is, take it in the opposite direction. So if it's debit, credited, credit, debited. That's it. This is the simple rule. Okay, so this also we are done with. A check of 9,700 drawn by MS Bantu Bros has been dishonored. So what will we do? If a check is dishonored, what is the entry that we'll put? See, Bantu account debit to bank. That is the entry that we'll put, right? So 9,700, 9,700. So this is the right entry. Okay, what has happened? Has been dishonored but wrongly debited to MS Bhakt & Co. So what has actually happened? Bhakt & Co. account has been debited for dishonor, right? Amount stands the same, so there's nothing wrong over there. Now how to rectify this entry? See, bank account is credited to the extent of 9,700 and even here it is credited to the extent of 9,700. So we need not bother here. That is fine. Okay. Bantu account should have been debited by 9,700. So it should have been, it is correct. So I'll put Bantu & Co. account debit 9,700. So this is done, and Bhakt account is debited to the extent of 9,700, but this is wrong. So if it is wrong, what will we do? And it's debited, we'll credit it. So to Bhakt & co account 9,700. That is it. Bantu and co account debit 9,700 to Bhakt and co account 9,700. This is the solution. So we had 4 transactions and we did 4 transactions. Now you see, should the trial balance tally without rectification of errors? Even though if errors are not rectified, the trial balance will tally. Reason being, both are two-sided errors. Okay, so 2 accounts are. If suspense comes, then it's one-sided error. Else, it is two-sided error. So anyways, trial balance will tally. So I hope you people understood it. If you understood, just put a yes here. Chalo, put a yes. Okay. Fine. Chalo, let's do the next sum. Okay. So question number 7 is done. Question number 8 is the same as question number 7. So I will not again take it. Numbers are different, but you people practice it. Okay. So question number 7, if you see, it was from RTP of May 2019. Okay. Question number 8 is from the RTP of November 2021. Okay, so those 2 questions are done. Next, coming to question number 9. Chalo. So question number 9, if anyone is joining now, to clarify, 1 to 6 is theoretical question which I am not taking. From 7th it's practical questions which I started taking. Question 7 is done. Question 8 is similar to question 7, so I am not taking it. You people practice on your own. Same journal entries, names have changed a little and amounts have changed. Okay, coming on to this. So without even reading the question first, I will first correct, wrong, rectification entry. Okay, so first transaction, purchase of furniture on credit from Nigam for rupees 3,000 posted to Shubham account as rupees 300. So first, purchase of furniture on credit from Nigam. This is where the right entry is. So what should happen? Furniture is an asset, so it should be furniture account debit to Nigam account, right? 3,000. Okay, but what has happened is, for 3,000 posted to Shubham account as 300. Okay, so what has happened is, furniture account debit to Shubham account 300. As 300 it has been posted. Okay, so what is the rectification entry? Tell me. See, furniture should have been debited by 3,000, but it is only debited by 300. That means in this remaining 2,700 is yet to be debited. Okay, which is the right thing. So I will debit furniture. Right. Then Nigam should have been credited to the extent of 3,000. Right. So then I will credit Nigam. So these 2 entries are done. Nigam should have been credited to the extent of 3,000. Should have been done, but now I will do it. Nigam account 3,000. So this entry is also done. And Shubham account is credited wrongly by 300. So if something is wrong and it's on the credit side, what will I do? I'll debit it. So what is the final entry? Furniture account debit, Shubham account debit to Nigam account 3,000. Okay. So what should I write as a narration? If I write purchase of furniture on credit from Nigam for 3,000 posted to Shubham account as rupees 300. That is the narration I'll write. Please ensure you write the narration. If you don't write the narration, marks can get deducted. So please write the narration. Since we are in lack of time, I am not writing the narration, but you people should ideally write. Okay. So first entry is done. Second entry. Okay. Then a sale return of rupees 500 to Jyoti was not entered in the financial accounts, though it was duly taken in the stock book. So what happened? A sale return happened. So what will be the entry? Sales return account debit to what? Jyoti account. What is the amount? 5,000. Okay, but it was not recorded only. So what is the wrong entry? No wrong entry only. Not recorded only, no. So what can be wrong here? So I'll just take the correct entry and I'll post it. That's it. Account debit to Jyoti account 5,000. Clear? Chalo. Investment was sold for rupees 75,000 at a profit of rupees 15,000 and passed through the sales book. So investment are sold for 75,000 with a profit of 15,000. So what should be the entry? What should have been the entry? Bank account debit to investment account to profit on sale of investment account. Bank account is debited by 75,000, investment is credited by 60,000, and since it's telling 15,000 is the profit, we credit 15,000 as profit. Okay, but what happened was they took it to sales, right? Has been passed to the sales book. So what would have been done? Bank account debit to sales. What? 60,000 they'll take? No, sales they'll take the entire amount. So 75,000 they took it. Okay, so what is the rectification entry for this now? See, bank is debited by 75,000 and in the wrong entry also it is debited by 75,000. So this is none of our concern. This we won't look. Next, investment should be credited by 60,000 and profit on sale of investment should be credited by 15,000, which is not done. So what will I do? I will credit it to investment account to profit on sale of investment account. I'll write in short forms also. So please, I hope it's okay. 60,000, 15,000. Okay. Next, sales is credited to the extent of 75,000, but it is wrong. So if it is credited and it is wrong, what will we do? We'll debit it. We'll push it away. We'll put it in debit side. So it is sales account debit 75,000. That's it. This is what the entry is. Sales account debit to investment account to profit on sale of investment account. Okay. Fourth one. What is the next transaction? We have 4 transactions. No, 3 are done. So this was asked in RTP of May 2020 and suggested answer of May 2018. The source is also given in the question bank so that you people can see how many times it was asked and what is more relevant, and you can practice accordingly, in the last day types. An amount of 10,000 withdrawn by the proprietor Darshan for his personal use has been debited to trade expenses account. So what should have been the entry? Since they didn't tell anything, we'll take cash. So he has withdrawn cash. So it should have been drawings account debit to cash account. How much? 10,000, right? But what has happened? It was debited to trade expense, right? It was debited to trade expenses account. So trade expenses account debit to cash. How much? 10,000. Okay, so now let's pass the rectification entry. Cash is credited in the wrong part. In the correct entry, it is credited to the extent of 10,000, and even in the wrong entry, it is credited to the extent of 10,000. So we need not bother. Drawing should have been debited. So now we'll debit it. Drawings account debit 10,000. So this is done, and then trade expenses account is debited, but it is wrong. So if it's debited and it's wrong, what will we do? We'll credit it to trade expenses account 10,000. That is it. Done. This sum is also done. We are done with 3 questions in a matter of, I would say, around 35 minutes or so. Okay, so I think the progress is really good. We'll see maybe 2-3 parts it will go. Second part will surely be there. Third part, if it gets over, well and good, else it can go till 4th part. Okay, these particular videos. Chalo, I hope till question 9 is done. Question 10 will start. Before starting question 10, I would like to have some water, so I'll have that. Okay, just give me a minute. See, one more thing. If you want the solution, see, solution is anyways given to you. Okay, in the description it's there, so it's given to you. If you specifically want the workings also, whatever number is given, you just call them and you inform, or you put it in the comments in the YouTube. We will share it to you. Okay, if these notes are also given, the working notes, whatever I'm working out here. See, if these notes are also given required, then you ask and you will get it. Okay, so it's on ask basis. I'll just write here, same as question number 7, so that we are done. Okay, so now starting off with question number 10. Okay, let's start that. Okay, chalo, let's start that. Rupees 500 paid for, so this were found in the following errors were found in the books of Ram Prasad and Sons. Give necessary journal entry to correct them. Okay, so we have correct, wrong. Anita is asking, when the narration is not required, they told sir. When they specifically, when I say specifically tells you to not do something, then you can chillax. But if they are silent, that means you can do whatever you want to do. I mean, whatever maximum you can do, you do. Okay. So if they tell that the narration is not required, don't put narration, just give the entries and come. But if they tell that narration, if they do not tell anything about narration, then you should put the narration. Okay. Chalo, let's start this sum now. Okay, chalo, rupees 500 paid for furniture purchase has been charged to the ordinary purchases account. So purchase of furniture is what, it's an asset, so we'll capitalize it, so it should be and nothing has been given, so I'll assume it to be cash, because since it's working, you can take cash, bank, whatever you want. That's not an issue. When they specifically tell, that time you should take that transaction. Okay, if they tell specifically cash, take cash. They tell specifically bank, take bank. Or normally I tend to take cash, and you can also take cash, or you can take bank, because this is just a working, so you need not wonder, oh, how cash came, how bank came. Okay, so 500, that is the correct entry. But what has been done? Charged to the ordinary purchases account, but it has been booked as purchases. So what will I do? What is the wrong entry? Cash, how much? 500. Okay, so now what is the rectification entry? Furniture account should have been debited, right? So furniture account should have been debited, so I'll debit it. How much? 500. And cash account is credited to the extent of 500, and even in the wrong entry it is credited to the extent of 500, so I will not take this into consideration. Purchases account has been debited, but it is wrong, so if it's debited and it is wrong, what we will do, we'll push it away, we'll push it off to credit. So furniture account debit to purchase, furniture account debit to purchases account. So this is the rectification entry. Okay, this is your final answer, therefore marking it green. Chalo, next, repairs were debited to the building account for 50. Now repairs is just an expense, why do you capitalize it, right? So what should have been the entry? Repairs account debit to cash, will expense it out, but it has been capitalized, it has been taken into the building account. So building account debit to cash, how much? 50. So now if you see here, cash is credited in correct entry also, cash is credited in wrong entry also, so that should not be a concern for us. Repairs account should have been debited, so I'll debit it now. And so that is done, and building account shouldn't have been debited, so it's wrong. So if it's debited and it's wrong, I'll credit it. That's it. Okay, I hope this is also very clear to you. Chalo. An amount of 100 withdrawn by the proprietor for his personal use. Okay, so amount of 100 has been withdrawn by the proprietor for his personal use. This we have already dealt with. It will be drawings account debit to cash. How much? 100. Okay. What has happened? But what has happened has been debited to trade expenses account. So it has been charged as an expense. So what will we do? What has happened? To cash. Trade expenses account debit to cash. So now let's pass the rectification entry. The wrong entry was trade expenses account debit to cash. The right entry is drawings account debit to cash. So both in the correct and the wrong entry, cash is common. So I will not look at it. Drawing should have been debited. If it should have been debited, what will I do? I will debit it now. So this part is done. Trade expenses account is debited, which is wrong. So if it's debited and it's wrong, what will I do? I'll credit it. Okay. I hope till transaction 3 you are clear. Fourth, rupees 100 paid for rent debited to landlord's account. Okay. So 100 rupees has been paid as a rent and it has been debited to the landlord's account. Okay. So what should be the entry? What does this mean? Actually, it should be charged as an expense. So I will put rent account debit to cash 100. Right. But what has happened? It has been debited to landlord's personal account. Means it is showing that we have given a loan to the landlord of rupees 100, which is wrong, right? So the wrong entry is landlord's personal account debit to cash. How much? 100. Okay. So now what should be the correct entry? The rectification entry should be like this. Cash account is credited in the correct entry and cash account is credited in the wrong entry. So that is not my concern. Rent account should have been debited to the extent of 100, so I'll debit it now. How much? To the extent of 100. And landlord's account, personal account. Landlord's personal account has been debited, which is wrong. So what should happen? It should be credited now. Landlord's, LL means landlord's personal account, which is 100. So what is the rectification entry? Rent account debit to landlord's personal account. Okay. Next, salary of 125 paid to a clerk due to him has been debited to his personal account. So a salary has been paid of 125 to a clerk. So what should be the correct entry? It should be salary account debit to cash. What is the amount here? It's 125, right? But what has happened? It has been debited to his personal account. That means again it is shown that the clerk is given a loan. So what actually is the wrong entry? Clerk account debit. Clerk's personal account or clerk account debit to cash. 125. So now in the rectification entry, what will we do? Cash is credited to 125 and here also it's credited to 125, so we won't bother about it. Salary account is debited, which should be the right thing. So salary account, it's account debit 125, and so that is dealt with. Clerk account is debited to the extent of 125, which is wrong. So if it's wrong, what will we do? We'll credit it. If something is debited and it's wrong, we credit it. If something is credited and it's wrong, we debit it. So we do clerk account 125. Okay. So we are done with this transaction also. Next, rupees 100 received from Shah and Co has been wrongly entered as from Shaw and Co. See, you should keep these minute things also whenever you read a question, like in the general class also, when I'm taking class, I see a lot of students make mistake because they're like, oh, okay, they will just read it in high speed and they'll solve it. You should not do that as far as CA exams are concerned. because each and every word matters, specifically when you have to enter transactions and all. So you should keep that in mind, and then you should approach a question. Okay, so always be sure to read the question very properly. Take your time, take 2 minutes, read that question, understand it, each and every transaction, and then do it. Or if it's a sum like this, read it in parts, that you need not read the entire question. You see it's rectification of errors, stop it there, do not read it. Once you are done, once you come to that sum, reach each and every part and then give the rectification entry, because then your mind will be focused. Okay, chalo. Rupees 100 received from rupees 100 received from Shah and Co has been wrongly entered as from Shaw and Co. So Pugal, you are right. 100 has been received from Shah and Co. So what will I do? What will be the entry? Assuming cash is received to Shah and Co account. What is the entry? 100. But what has happened? It is shown that it is received from Shaw and Co. So what is the error here? Debit to Shaw and Co account. 100. Okay. So now we were getting all debits only wrong. Now for the first time we got a credit which is wrong. Chalo, good. So here cash account has been debited in the right side by 100, and even in the wrong side it has been debited by 100. So that is not a concern. Okay. In the right side, to Shah and Co account has to be credited. So I'll credit it here now to Shah and Co account. How much? 100. So that is settled. Then to Shaw and Co account has been credited wrongly to the extent of 100. So if it is credited wrongly, what will I do? I will debit it. So Shaw and Co account debit 100. That is it. Shaw and Co account debit to Shah and Co account. This is what the entry tells. Next. Rupees 700 paid in cash for a typewriter was charged to the office expenses account. So typewriter is an asset, but it was taken as an expenditure. So that is wrong. So now we'll rectify it. So what should have been the entry? Typewriter account debit to cash. What? 700, right? But what has happened? It has been charged to office expenses. $700. So now let's rectify the entry. So typewriter account has been debited to the extent of 700, and it should be debited to the extent of 700. So I'll debit it now. Typewriter account debit 700. Cash is credited to the extent of 700. Here I see cash is again credited to the extent of 700. So I have these in common. So I'll just cut it off. Okay. Next, I see office expenses account has been debited to the extent of 700, which is absolutely wrong. So I'll credit it. So typewriter to office expenses account. Office expenses account. Okay. 700. Chalo. So this sum is done. I hope you are clear and you understood how we are arriving at rectification entries. Just tell a yes if you are clear. Whoever is live, just tell whether they understood how we are arriving at the entries. Okay. Just tell me once. I'll just look here. Chalo. Now moving on to the 11th sum. Okay. We might see, we will take, we have a 2-hour stream scheduled. So accordingly, we'll adjust for break. I don't think I would want to give you now. So we will take the 2-hour stream maybe at 1 hour 30, 1 hour 45 minutes. We will see whether, because I do not want to overload you with a lot of knowledge per se, because I do not want people to get confused. So accordingly, we will see. Okay. So let's see this. Okay. Now this is again a simple sum only. We'll do it. This is from my ICAI study material also. So now if you do this sum, then what will happen? All the sums of ICAI, whatever you take, you need not break your head only of okay going through other sums, opening ICAI material, nothing. Take this question bank, go through it, and your revision is done. Okay, so understand the concept. Chalo. And this is not some rocket science that I'm teaching you also. It's a very simple thing, correct, wrong, and then you have to give the rectification entries. So it should be easy. Rectification entry. Chalo. One more thing I wanted to tell you. See, journal entries are a very essential part of rectification of errors, and not only rectification of errors. Down the line, once you clear your foundation, intermediate and final also, it will be a very important part. So if you want me to record the logic of how journal entries came up, and you want me to upload it in YouTube so that it's there for everyone, just put it down in the comments. We'll see how many comments we get. Accordingly, we will record it, and we will explain you how journal entries are to be made, so that at basics you have in your hand. Once that basics are strong, then everything is a cakewalk. Okay, chalo. The first transaction. A purchase of goods from Ram amounting to 150 has been wrongly entered through the sales book. So what has happened is purchase has happened. So from the purchase has happened, but it has been taken into sales. So obviously both the accounts will be wrong, right? Because the primary book itself is wrong. So when in Ram's account it is being posted in the ledger, that will also be wrong, logically. So purchase, what should be the entry for purchase? Purchases account and debit to Ram account 150. But what has happened? It has been taken through the sales book. Taken through the sales book means what? It has been considered that it is sales only. So what has happened here? What is the entry? Wrong entry. Ram account debit to sales account. How much? 150. Now rectification entry here, you understand, it is interesting here. Okay, purchases account has been debited to the extent of 150, so that should have been the case. So I will do that, right? I'll put purchases account debit 150. Okay, so this entry is dealt with. Ram account should have been credited by 150, but in the wrong entry we see Ram account has not been credited. So what will I do? I'll credit it now to Ram account. How much? 150. Okay, dealt with. Then Ram account should have been debited to the extent of 150. It has been debited to the extent of 150. Okay, which is wrong. So if it's debited and it's wrong, I'll credit it. So now tell me, will I put again here to Ram account 150? I will not do that, right? I'll rather add the amount here. So what will this 150 become? This 150 plus 150 will become 300. So I will take that only. Ram account, I'll credit it by 300. Okay, so this entry and this entry are dealt with. Next, sales account has been credited by 150, which is wrong. So if it is credited by 150, what will I do? I will debit it. So sales account is debited 150. So what is the rectification entry? Purchase account debit 150, sales account debit 150, to Ram account 300. That is it. It's as simple as that. This rule you apply, all the entries will become easy. Okay. After these marathon sessions are done, I do not want anyone to think that rectification of errors is hard. It should be the easiest chapter in the syllabus. Okay. You watch this. It should be the easiest chapter in the syllabus. After you study this, directly during the exam time, you just have to go through the sums and that's it. So that is what I want from you people. Okay, so focus to that extent. You have any doubts, feel free to ask. You cannot ask here, feel free to call and ask. Okay, the number is given. Call, tell you want to speak to Deepak sir, and you ask. I will be more than happy to solve. It is open to all. Okay. Next, a credit sale of goods amounting to 120 to Ramesh, amounting rupees 120 to Ramesh, has been wrongly passed through the purchase book. So what? Sales has happened. So sales has happened to Ramesh. So what is the correct entry? See. Correct entry should have been Ramesh account debit to sales. How much is the amount? 120, right? But what has happened? It has been passed through the purchase book. That means the sale has been considered as a purchase and it is passed. Okay, the entry is passed. So what has the wrong entry been? Purchases account debit to Ramesh account. How much? Amount stands the same. There will be situations where the amount is also wrong, so you need not worry about it. Okay, the same rules you apply, it will happen. So now what is the rectification entry? Ramesh account should have been debited to the extent of 120. I see here it is not debited, so then I will debit it. Okay, sales account should have been credited to the extent of 120. I have not credited here, so what will I do? I'll credit it. Okay, so these two entries are dealt with. Purchases account has been debited to the extent of 120, which is wrong. So if anything is debited and it is wrong, what will we do? We will credit it. So to purchases account 120, and Ramesh account has been credited to the extent of 120, which is wrong. It should have been debited, but it is credited. So if anything is wrong and it's a credit thing, then what we will do? We will debit it. So then I will debit Ramesh account. Already there's a debit there, so I will add 120 over here. So this 120 plus 120 should become 240. Okay, so Ramesh account debit to purchases account to sales account is the final entry that you have to look into. Clear? Chalo. On 31st December 2020, goods of the value 300 were returned by Harisharan, okay, and were taken into inventory on the same date, but no entry was passed in the books. So here are the entries missing. We have already dealt with such a situation already. What is the entry here? See, sales return account debit. What is the name? To Harisharan account. To what extent the amount is? 300. Right, but nothing has been passed. If nothing has been passed, then what will be the rectification entry? Same. Sales return account debit to Harisharan account. How much? 300. Okay. Next, an amount of rupees 200 due from Mahesh Chand, okay, which had been written off as bad debts in the previous year, was unexpectedly recovered and had been posted to the personal account of Mahesh Chand. So now some amount was due from Mahesh Chand and it has been written off as bad debts, and now that bad debts have recovered. So whenever you receive some amount as bad debts recovered, you will credit that account. Okay, so what will you do? What should be the entry? You will not credit the person's account because you have already nullified his account. You have put the amount in the bad debts. Bad debts will be debited, so you have put the amounts in the bad debts. Now when you receive it again, then you will post it in an account known as bad debts recovered account, which since it is considered as an income, we will credit it. So what should have been the entry? I'll assume cash has been received. Cash account debit to bad debts recovered account. What is the amount? 200. Okay, but what has happened? See, it has been posted to the personal account of Mahesh. So Mahesh Chand. So what has happened actually? It has been taken as cash account debit to Mahesh Chand account. Okay, how much? 200. So what is the rectification entry now? See, cash account is cancelled. Bad debts recovered should be credited. So it will be to bad debts recovered account 200, and Mahesh Chand account should be debited because it's wrong and it's credited. We will debit it. So Mahesh Chand account is debited to the extent of 200. So this is the rectification entry. Mahesh Chand account debit to bad debts recovered account. Okay, chalo. So this is done. Was anything and it's post. Now next, a check of rupees 100 received from Manmohan was dishonored and has been posted to the debit of sales return account. So now what has happened is a check of rupees 100 has been dishonored. So what will I do? If a check is dishonored, what is the entry? Manmohan account debit to bank. What is the amount here? 100. Okay, from Manmohan. 100. But what has it been taken as? Sales return account debit to bank. Okay. Why I'm telling sales return? It has been posted to the debit of sales returns account. Okay. So sales return, as you know, is also a primary book which we have already we have seen in the we know that purchase sales return, purchase return. So that's a primary book, right? So 100. Now going on to the rectification part. What is it? Bank account is credited here, bank account is credited here, so we need not look into it. Manmohan account should have been debited to the extent of 100, so it will be Manmohan account debit. Then so this is done. Sales return account has been debited to the extent of 100, which is wrong, so I'll credit it to sales return account. How much? 100. Okay, so this is the last entry. With this we are done with question number 11. Okay, so I hope you people have understood question number 11. Question number 12 is where a concept of suspense account is necessary. So suspense account has not been used, but if you know the concept, it is easier for you to solve. So that's why we're skipping to directly question number 13. Okay, just give me a minute. As of now, the suggested answers have not come out for, like, last I checked yesterday. Okay, it has not come out for your May 22 attempt, so we are just waiting for it to come out. Once it comes out, then that also that rectification of entry or sum also, I'll take it and I'll upload it. Okay, so it will be in the playlist. Okay, so you need not worry. All ICAI sums I will cover as promised, and I will cover. Next, this sum is from the suggested answer of December 2021. You will see how easy it is, and then you'll be like, oh, rectification of errors. That's it. See, correct entry, wrong entry, rectification entry. Okay, chalo, let's start. So what they have mentioned here: pass the journal entries to rectify the following errors detected during the preparation of trial balance. Now you should also focus on, till now we did not focus on when it is prepared, but we should also start focusing on that when it is prepared, when errors are rectified, because if it is during the preparation of trial balance, then we need not worry, suspense account should not be opened. After the preparation of trial balance, if they mention, then suspense account should be opened. And if they tell after books are closed, then we even P&L adjustment account comes into picture. So suspense will also be there, P&L adjustment also will be there. Okay, so that is why, like I already mentioned, 3 categories it is divided into. Chalo, let's start. We'll take some other color now. Board with these 3 colors, you see. Next, wages paid for construction of office building debited to wages account 20,000. So wages have been paid for construction of office building. Construction of office building, that means what? An asset is being bought into existence, that it should be capitalized. So the correct entry should have been building account debit to cash account. How much? Again, I'm taking cash account. Since they did not mention, you can take bank. Oh, 20,000 rupees they paid in cash. Nothing like that. You can take bank also. It's okay. This is just a working. Remember that. Okay. But it has been debited to the wages account. So what is a wrong entry? Wages account debit to cash. How much? 20,000. 20,000. Always remember the first part of the question will actually have the correct part, and the second part of the question will tell what went wrong. Okay, so therefore study half, analyze that particular portion and then put the entry. Okay, need not study the entire thing. So now let's get on to the rectification portion. Okay, cash account has been credited to the extent of 20,000, and here also cash account has been credited to the extent of 20,000. So I will not see into it. I will not look into it. Okay, building account should have been debited, but Kadvile it has not been debited. So what will we do? We'll debit it. Building account debit. How much? 20,000. Chalo, this is taken care. Wages account shouldn't have been debited, but it is debited. Why God? Why is he doing this to me? So what will I do? If it's debited, ultimately I have to rectify my errors on my own. No one else will come and rectify. So if it is debited, what will I do? I'll credit it. So building account debit to wages account debit. That's it. Rectification entry done. Second, a credit sale of goods rupees 1200 to Ramesh has been wrongly passed through the purchase book. We already solved this in the previous sum, but still again we will solve it. No issues. Ramesh account debit to sales is how much? 1200. Okay. Now what is the wrong entry? It has been passed through the purchase book. So what will be the entry? Purchase account debit to Ramesh 1200. So now what is the rectification entry? Ramesh account should have been debited, not debited. I will debit it. Account debit. How much? 1200. Okay, I hope it is visible here for you people. I think a part of me might be blocking it, but no issues. I'll adjust it. Okay, I'm looking and adjusting it. Okay, so 1200. Sales account should have been credited, but I see it is not credited anywhere here, so I'll credit it to sales account 1200. Then purchase account is debited 1200, but it is absolutely wrong. So if it's debited, to correct it, what I'll do, I'll credit it again. If it's debited, to correct it, I'll credit it. So this is done, this is done, this is done. Ramesh account 1200 has been credited, which is wrong, so I'll debit it. So I will add 1200 here, which will end up in making it 2,400 rupees. Clear? Chalo, this is also done. Next, an amount of rupees 2,000 which was due from Maheshan, which has been written off as bad debts in the previous year, was unexpectedly recovered and has been posted to the personal account of Maheshan. This we already saw, so I'll finally put the last entry over here. Sure, I'll do it for your sake, no issues. So what should have been the amount? Entry cash account debit to Mahesh Chand. Oops, that is wrong entry. To bad debts recovered account. What should be the amount? 2,000. 2,000. Chalo. Next, what is the wrong entry here? Cash account debit to Mahesh Chand account. What is it? 2,000. 2,000. Okay. Now we'll take out whatever is common. Not required, not required. Bad debts recovered is credited, so I'll credit it. Should be credited. 2,000. So that is done. Mahesh Chand account has been credited, which is absolutely wrong, so I'll debit it. For Mahesh Chand, we can't even write the short form. That is the issue. Chalo. Mahesh Chand account debit to bad debts recovered. Okay. Next. This is a good adjustment. Let's see. Goods cost being 5,000 and sale price being 6,000 distributed as free samples amount to amount prospective customers were not recorded anywhere. So goods worth 5,000, the sale price of which was 6,000, was distributed as free sample. It was not recorded anywhere. So obviously we'll not book it as sales. So this will be an expense. This is an advertisement expense that we are doing, right? So what will be the entry? Tell me. Advertisement expenditure. Advertisement expenditure. ADV means advertisement. EXP means expenditure. Account debit to, should I put sales or should I put purchase? Obviously I'll put purchase. Sales only when I make a sale I do. Other than that, if anyway the goods are going out, let's say the proprietor is taking out, or I'm giving us free samples, or it is getting destroyed, whatever it is, I'll credit only purchase account. Okay. How much is it? Goods worth 5,000 they told, no, so we'll put 5,000 here. Okay, no entry has been passed, so it's the same entry here. Advertisement expenditure account debit to purchases account. How much is it? 5,000. 5,000. ठीक है? चलो. Goods worth 1,500 returned by green have not been recorded anywhere. Very simple entry. Sales return entry, right? So it is sales return account debit to green account. How much is the amount here? Let's see. 1,500. Nothing has been recorded here. So what will be the entry? Sales return account debit to green account. How much? 1,500. 1,500. See now, this was asked in December 2021 examination, and it's such a simple question. Tell me. So you need not fear this particular chapter. Okay, chalo. Now coming on to the next particular question. Chalo. This question is again same as question 9. Amounts are changed. Apart from that is the same. See, question 9 will go investment, purchase of furniture. Here also purchase of furniture they have told. Sale return of 15,000. Here also sale return they have told. So everything is same. So we will not be doing this. I will just type here same as question number 9. Okay. Chalo. Let's get on to the 15th question. Chalo. This was asked in RTP of May 2019 and ICAI Study Material. Okay. So here we will understand the concept of undercast overcast also. I'll take 2 minutes to explain that. Very simple thing. Whenever you get undercast overcast, how to treat that particular thing. And here we get the category 1 closed and we start with category 2. That is suspense account. Oops. Okay, so here is the category 2, suspense account. Why we use it? Because we have one-sided error. Accounts are right. In here wherever we saw there were error in 2 accounts. Let's say furniture, drawings, everything, or furniture purchase. Furniture purchase has been posted as purchase. So in furniture and purchase both accounts there was error. So that is 2-sided. Now we come to the fact of one-sided error where only one account will have an error. So what account has an error, that will rectify it, and in the gap, let's say if there's a credit that should be done, credited, what will be debited? Nothing is there, so we will debit suspense. Okay, so that is the entire crux of suspense account. We will understand that as we go about the sum. Apart from that, let's now understand the concept of undercast and overcast. That is somewhere where people face a little issue. Very simple, very simple. Okay, I have my accounts nature. I'm telling. Nature means what? Debit or credit nature. Is it of debit nature or a credit nature? Let me take the first thing, undercast. Okay, undercast means was if anything is undercasted, what will we do? We'll add, right? So when I tell undercast, I add, right? If I tell that my expense has been undercast, what will does it mean? 100 rupees should have been should be the expenses, but only 80 has been shown. That means my expense is undercast by 20 rupees. That means I should add. So now if the account is of debit nature and I need to add, it's simple. I will debit that account. So like I told, expenses. Example I'll take here. Example, expense account has been undercast by rupees 20. So now expense account has been undercast by rupees 20. Expense account is of what nature? Debit nature. So that account has been undercast. So then I'll debit expense account debit. So 20. Now what will I credit? I have no account. This is a totaling error. What mistake will the other accounts have? So to suspense. So suspense is where there's only one-sided error, usually totaling error, or in the primary books it was posted right, but in the secondary books that means the ledger there was a wrong. So trial balance will not tally. Okay, let's take that into consideration. I will erase this off. So if you are typing it, or copying it, copy. Okay, and then if accounts is of credit nature and I want to add, I'll credit it. Okay, till here you understood. Next, if I have accounts, again debit or credit nature, and it is overcast. Okay, it should be shown at 100, but it is shown as 120, overcast. So if my account is of debit nature and I need to subtract it, what will I do? I'll credit that account. If my account is of credit nature and I need to subtract, what will I do? I will debit it. One example again, that same expense example I'll take. Expense account was overcast by rupees 20. Okay, so what does that mean? It's of debit nature. Change the color. It's of debit nature. So its expense account is of debit nature. So it's overcast. So if it's overcast, what will I do? I'll credit it. So what will it be? To expense account. How much? 20. And now since I have no account, since the totaling error, there's no mismatch in the accounts, nothing is there. So I'll put suspense account. Let me show you, just a second. Suspense account debit 20. So it should be suspense account debit 20 to expense account. Okay, rhymes no? Suspense expense. Chalo. Now I hope with this you are clear with the concept of undercast overcast, because you can apply it anywhere also. Now let's see why I am telling this specifically now is, see, a total of discount allowed column in cash book for the month of September amounting to 25,000 was not posted. Okay, that means what? Undercasting of 25,000 has happened. Okay, so using this undercast overcast, wherever you see that something has not been posted properly or something, you can use that. Else you can use our regular rules only. That will be helpful. Chal, I'll rub this off now and delete it. Delete. I need the space, you see. I think everyone in life needs space, right? Chal, let's do this sum now. We are already at 1 hour 18 minutes of the stream, and we are in category 2, so I'm happy. Chal, let's understand this. See, now look at the sum. Very focus here now, and I'll take this very slowly. So again, we'll stick to the same rules. Nothing new you have to do. Okay, you have the correct, wrong, rectification, entry. Okay, see, goods of the value 10,000 returned by Mr. Sharma. Till here we are clear. So goods have been returned. So what is the correct entry? Sales return account debit to Mr. Sharma account. How much? 10,000. 10,000. Okay, till here you are clear. Super. Where entered in sales day book. So it was entered in sales day book and posted therefrom to the credit of his account. That means in sales days book it has gone now. That means sales account would have been credited, right? So sales account has been credited and posted therefrom to the credit of his account. First, already he did an error by posting the sales return in sales. After that, he did one more error, that he posted that figure should be posted in debit of Mr. Sharma account, but he posted on credit. So 2 errors happened and it actually did the right thing only. So to Mr. Sharma account 10,000. They are specifically telling that they are from to the credit of his account. When they tell his now, meaning what? Sales has a gender, he or she. No, Mr. Sharma has a gender. So to the credit of his account, the amount was posted. Now apply the rules of rectification. Okay. Sales return account should be debited, but it is not debited. Right. So we will debit it now. Right. So sales return account debit 10,000. Okay, sales return account debit 10,000. So we have dealt with this entry. Next, to Mr. Sharma account. Sharma account has been what? Credited in the correct entry, and it is corrected in the wrong credited in the wrong entry also. So we will not look into it. Okay. Next, sales is there. Sales account has been credited, so it's wrong. So if it's credited, it's wrong. What will we do? We'll debit it. So we are done now. Now what to do? We have covered all the 4 transactions, right? Now all the 4 accounts. Now nothing is left. So now to balance it out, we will put the suspense. Like I told you, suspense is a guy who has recently got into a relationship. You know, in the initial stages of love, you know, the guy is like, yeah, whatever you say, if in the morning the partner calls and tells good night, he will wish good night. Whatever you say, whatever the partner wants him to become, he'll become, right? So similarly, suspense account, whatever the other accounts want him to become, he'll become. Okay, so suspense account doesn't have any nature per se for you to think, okay, is it real, nominal or personal? It has no nature. It is a miscellaneous account, as you can see. You can call it a miscellaneous account. Okay, so I hope now you have some clarity on how to use suspense account. Chalo. First entry is done. Okay, an amount of 15,000 entered in the sales return book has been posted to the debit of Mr. Philip, who returned the goods. Okay, first let's see what should have been done. We got some goods from Mr. Philip. So what it should have been done? Sales return. Got some goods now. The goods were returned. Be very clear. Sales return account debit to Mr. Philip account. How much should have been the amount? 15,000. 15,000. Okay, this should have been the amount. This should have been the entry. But the accountant, he was super clever, and what he did? It has been posted to the debit of Mr. Philip. They are specifically telling that it has been posted to the debit of Mr. Philip. So when someone comes and tells that in your classroom, okay, you people were students, in the classroom when you come and tell that this guy is bad or this girl is bad, okay, bad as in they are very mischievous and all, that means they are not telling the entire classroom is good, only that person in that classroom is bad, right? So if they are specifically telling that something wrong has happened, that means the other would have been right only. Okay, we should take that assumption and we should go. So they are specifically telling that Mr. Philip's account has been debited. So what will I do? Mr. Philip has been debited to the extent of 15,000. They are silent about sales return. Okay, that means what? We'll assume that it's right. And sales return account has been debited. And there is no credit entry. Now you'll be like, sir, how can there be no credit entry? You know, account should be balanced, right? But you should understand that this is an error only. This is a wrong entry only. No, that means it's not balanced. That's why we came into picture. Now, if it's balanced only, why will we come into picture? So it is a wrong entry only. Okay. So that's why you should not, when you give the entries, you should not see only debit came, credit didn't come in the wrong entry side, only debit came, credit didn't come. Oh my god, am I wrong? No, it is wrong only. But in the correct side, if you think something like this, no, okay, only debit is there, credit won't come, na, that then you are wrong. Okay, so keep that in mind. Chalo. So now let's apply the rules. Sales return account has been debited in the correct entry, and in the wrong entry also sales return account has been debited. So we will not look into it. Okay, next, fill up account should be credited to the extent of 15,000. Okay, so that is right. So I'll credit to Mr. Philip account 15,000. Then here in the wrong entry, fill up account has been debited to the extent of 15,000. If it's debited that and it's in the wrong side, that means what? It is wrong. We should credit it. So I will add another 15,000 here. That means what? What will be the total? 30,000. Okay. Now we are done with all the transactions. This is also covered. This is also covered. These two are, we cancelled it out. So what do we have left? No accounts left. So we'll do suspense. Suspense account debit 30,000. Okay. Clear? Next. A sale of rupees 20,000 made to Mr. Ghanshyam was correctly entered in sales day book. So chalo, a sales of rupees 20,000 was made to Mr. Ghanshyam. So what will be the entries? Let's see. I hope I'm not blocking the view. So I will do like this. A sale of rupees 20,000 to Ghanshyam. So Mr. G, will name it. Cool. Mr. G, you don't do this in exams, okay? You put it Mr. Ghanshyam account debit to sales account. Okay, you don't try acting cool in front of the examiner. I want to save some time, that's why I did. So Mr. G account debit to sales. Ghanshyam, we'll call it Mr. G to sales. What is the amount? 20,000. Okay, but what has happened? Let's see. Was correctly entered in sales book but wrongly posted. Now again, one more thing I would like to clarify here. They are telling wrongly posted to the debit of Mr. Radhesham as rupees 2,000. So when they tell posted, that means in primary books it's right, but in secondary books there was an error. Primary book means what? Sales book, it would have been 20,000 Mr. Ghanshyam. But from sales book, when you take it to the ledger, and ledger that too of that specifically, that person's, then there's a posting error, right? So that is what they are trying to tell. Chalo. It has been taken to the debit of Mr. Radhesham as rupees 2,000. So what has happened to Mr. R? It has been taken as 2,000. Okay, but they never told anything. Now I told primary book it was right. So sales will be credited to the extent of 20,000 only. Since they are specifically mentioning where the error is, we'll assume that the other side it was right only, and we'll continue with that. Now let's pass the rectification entry. Chalo. Sales account has been credited in the correct entry and it has been credited in the wrong entry. So that is not our business anymore. Mr. G account should have been debited to the extent of 20,000. So I will put Mr. G account debit 20,000. Okay, so this is done. This entry is done. Mr. R account has been debited to the extent of 2,000 rupees. Okay, which is wrong. So what will I do? I will credit it, right? So to Mr. R account, how much? 2,000. Now all the entries are done. Now I have a balance of 18,000. I have to balance my journal entry. Where will I go to? I'll tap suspense's door. To suspense account 18,000. That is it. Okay. Chalo. Next. Bad debts aggregating to 45,000 were written off during the year in the sales ledger but were not adjusted in the general ledger. What does this mean? See, this essentially means that bad debts account, it was not total, it was taken ahead. Okay, this is what it means. It was not total and it was not taken ahead. That means what? It is a case of undercast. So bad debts account, what is the nature? The nature is debit. It was undercast. If it's undercast, what we will do? We will add it. So debit, we add it, debit. So what is the rectification entry? Tell me. Bad debts account debit to suspense account. How much is it? We should see the amount also, no? 45,000. Chalo. Okay. Fifth, last transaction here. Chalo. The total of discount allowed column in cash book for the month of September amounting to rupees 25,000 was not posted. That means what? If you open the discount allowed ledger, it was not posted, it was empty. So that means discount allowed was undercast. So what will we do? Discount allowed account. It is of debit nature. What happened? Undercast. So what we'll do? We'll add. So debit. So we'll debit it. So what entry will it lead to? Discount allowed account debit to suspense account. How much is the amount here? 25,000. Okay, so with this we are done with question number 15 also. We have covered a lot of questions today, for which I'm really happy. So this question number 16 also we need not do, because it is same as question number 15. Only some amounts or something has changed. Like bad debts, there it was 45,000 and here it's 15,000, and there it was 25,000, here it's 12,500. So some amounts have changed. So that again you people can do it on your own. It was asked in RTP of May 21 and this was asked in RTP of May 19 and ICAI Study Material. You see how many times things get repeated just like that, right? So when we collate it, only then we come to know. So it's like, oh my god. So if you see, we are starting from 7th and there are 36 questions in your question bank, but in that 30 questions also a couple are repeated only. So effectively you might have some 25 questions. One day, once you this marathon session is over, you take the question bank, sit, fully study. Within half a day to 1 day your rectification of errors will be done. 10 marks will be sorted. Okay, so you should act like you should study like that. Chalo, 16th is done, and then next coming to 17th. See, here I would like to highlight a particular thing. Okay, chalo, what they are telling. Give journal entries with narrations. Narrations I am not writing, you people should write. To rectify the following errors located in the books of a trader after preparing the trial balance. They are telling specifically after preparing the trial balance. So if trial balance has already been prepared, that means suspense account is there. So they are indirectly hinting बच्चा सस्पेंस अकाउंट है इसमें, ठीक है, आपको सस्पेंस अकाउंट देखना है, यू हैव टू लुक इनटू सस्पेंस अकाउंट. चलो, an amount, first we will do the correct portion, the wrong portion and the rectification entry. Okay, chalo, we have another half an hour, maybe we'll do 2 sums and then we can wrap the session up. Okay, chalo. So what happened? First transaction, different color, yes. An amount of 4,500 received on account of interest. So what we will do? Correct entry, cash account debit. Again I'm assuming it's cash to interest received account. How much is it? 4,500. 4,500. Chalo. Then has been credited to the commission account. So what has been the wrong entry? Cash account debit to commission account. What is the amount? 4500. 4500. Okay. Now rectification entry, cash and cash is common, so interest received should be credited to interest received account 4500, and commission account it's credited, so we will debit it. So commission account debit 4500. Done. A sale of 2760 was posted from sales book to the debit of Mr. Saubhag Traders at 2670. So what happened? A sale was made to whom? Saubhag Traders. So to sales account 2760, right, was posted from sales book to the debit of Mr. Saubhag. That means in sales book it was right, sales was recorded right only, but while posting it to Saubhag account 2670 was posted instead of 2760. That means what? It's a one-sided error. Only Saubhag's account has an error. Sales account it is fine. So Saubhag account, Saubhag Traders account debit to sales, right? Sales was right. They are specifically not mentioning anything about sales, only about Saubhag Traders they are telling, so we'll assume sales is right. To Saubhag they have mentioned it is posted as 2670. So now what is the rectification entry? See, sales is right, so I will not look into it, right? Only Saubhag Traders should come. That to Saubhag Traders 2670 will get cancelled here. Only the difference will be how much? 90 rupees here. 90 rupees should be additionally debited, right? So the entry will be Saubhag Traders account debit 90. No other account left. So what will I do? I will credit suspense to suspense account 90. Okay. Chalo. Next, rupees 35,000 paid for purchase of air conditioner for the personal use of proprietor debited to machinery account. See, very clever. See. Okay. Next, rupees 35,000 was taken for the purchase of air conditioner for the proprietor. So then it will come in drawings. What he does with the money, purchases, he spends that is not our matter. He taking out from the business. So it will be as drawings. So it will be drawings account debit to cash. Again, I'm assuming cash. You can take as bankers if you think the amount is too high for you to take it out in cash. Just working out now. So it was debited to machinery account. So what happened here? In the wrong portion, machinery account debit to cash 35,000. So what is the rectification entry? Cash and cash will get cancelled. So drawings account should be debited. So we'll debit drawings account. And machinery account is debited, which is wrong, so we'll credit it. How much? 35,000. Chalo. Done. This is also done. Goods returned by customer for rupees 5,000. The same have been taken into stock, but no entry has been passed in the book. See, this was asked in May 2019. Such a simple question. Okay. Goods returned by customer for 5,000. Chalo. So, what will be the entry? Sales return account debit to customer, trade receivables, whatever you want to put, you can put. Okay. Customer account. How much is the amount? 5,000. Okay, it was not taken only in the books. So rectification entry will be the same. What entry we already put? Sales return account debit to customer account. Okay. What is the amount? 5,000. Okay, so with this we are done with question number 17 also. Next we go to question number 18. Now 18, okay, we are doing so a fairly good big sum, 9 transactions. I think we might complete this sum and then we will close this session off. Okay, chalo. Correct the following errors found in the books of Mr. Dutt. The trial balance was out by rupees 493 excess credit. That means opening balance of suspense account is 493. Okay. The difference thus has been posted to the suspense account, which they are telling. So we have the correct verification. Okay, chalo, let's do this sum now. An amount of 100 was received from D Das on 31st December 2020 but has been omitted to be entered in the cash book. So an amount of 100 was received from D Das. What is the entry? Cash account debit to D Das account, right? How much? 100, but nothing was posted, so we have the rectification entry as cash account debit to D Das account. How much? 100. Okay, next, the total of return inward book for December has been cast as rupees 100 short. Return inwards means more. Return inwards, it came return. Who will return your goods? When you purchase, you will return your goods to yourself. No, when you sell, you will return. Okay, people get confused in this also. What is return inwards? What is return outwards? Return outwards. I am returning. Will I return my goods to the customers? No, I'll return it to the suppliers, right? So purchase returns. Return inwards means customers are sending the goods back to me. Will my suppliers send goods back to me? They'll send me goods. They won't send it back to me. So that is sales return. Okay, so now see, we have sales return or return inwards, any terminology you can use. Better to use what they whatever makes you feel comfortable. Sales return account is of debit nature. It is undercast, so we will add it. So we will do debit. We will debit. So it will be sales return account debit to suspense account. Okay, a purchase of an office table costing rupees 300 has been passed to the purchase day book, which is absolutely wrong. It should be as per the capitalized. It should be capitalized. So purchase of office table has been taken as purchases, right? So 300 rupees. So what should be the correct entry? Furniture account debit to cash. Let's say we have paid cash 300, right? Right or not? A purchase of an office table costing has been, but wrong entry is what? Purchases account debit to cash 300. So what is the rectification entry now? Tell me. Cash and cash is common, so I won't bother about that. Furniture account should have been debited, so I'll debit furniture account. Purchases account is debited, which is wrong, so I'll credit it. 300. Clear? Next. So this is done. Next, rupees 375 paid as purchase for workmen for making showcases have been charged to wages account. Showcases is what? It should again be capitalized. It's a furniture, so it should have been capitalized. So 375 should have been paid. So again here, furniture account debit to cash 375. But what happened? It has been charged to wages. Wages account debit to cash 375. So what happened here? Cash account is credited So, and in the right also it's credited, in the wrong also it's credited, so we won't bother. Furniture account is should have been debited, but it is not debited, so I'll debit furniture account now. And wages account is debited, which is wrong, so I'll credit wages account. Chalo, clear? Clear. A purchase of 67 has been posted to the trade payables account as rupees 60. So from a supply we purchase something for 67. So in our purchase account 67 we have put, but specifically they are telling that in trade payables account it has been posted as 60. So only in trade payables account there is an error. So trade payables is nothing but the supplier, right? So the correct entry should have been purchases account debit to trade payables. PBLES means trade payables. That is how much? 67. But what has happened? Purchases account debit to trade payables. Entry is same, but purchases has been debited by 67 and trade payables has been credited by only 60. Okay. They are specifically telling that trade payables has been credited by 60. So it has been credited only by 60. So now let's correct this entry. Purchases we won't take into consideration. Trade payables here 60. Here 7 rupees difference is there. It should be credited additionally. So to trade payables account 7, and since it's one-sided error, we'll debit suspense account. Okay, I hope this is clear. Then next, what do we have? A check of 200 received from PC Doshi has been dishonored as has been passed to the debit of allowances account. Okay, so 200 was received from PC Doshi has been dishonored. So what will be the entry? PC Doshi or Joshi? Let me check that. Joshi account. Account debit to bank. How much is the amount? 200. Right. Amount is 200 received from PC Doshi. But what has happened? It has been taken to the debit of allowances account. So account debit to bank. How much? 200. So what will be the rectification entry? Tell me. PC Joshi account should be debited. So I'll debit that. PC Joshi account debit 200. Bank has been credited in wrong and right entries, so I'll leave that. Allowances account has been debited, so I'll credit that now because it's wrong. To allowances 200. Chalo. Next, we'll take the next portion. Okay, so what is that? So 6 is done. Rupees 1000 paid for purchase of motorcycle for Mr. Datta has been charged to miscellaneous expense account. Actually it should be drawings, right? So drawings account debit to cash 1000 should have been taken as drawings, but it was taken as what? Miscellaneous expense account. Miscellaneous expense account debit to cash. How much? 1000. So what should be the rectification entry? Drawings account should be debited, which is done. Then cash is same, so I won't bother. Miscellaneous expense account is debited wrongly, so I should credit it to miscellaneous expense account 1000. Okay. Then goods amounting to 100 have been returned by customer and were taken into inventory, but no entry in respect of these goods were made into the books. So that means A sales return entry was not made. That's it. What is the actual entry that should have been? Sales return account debit to customer. How much was the amount? 100. Okay, but nothing was posted, so therefore it will be sales return account debit to customer 100. Okay, next, this is also done. A sale of rupees 200 to Singh and Co was wrongly credited to their account. Entry was made correctly in the sales book. This made should not be there. So a sale of 200 to Singh and Co. So what should be the entry? Tell me. Singh and Co account debit to sales. What is the amount? 200, right? 200. But sales book was right, but Singh and Co accounts was credited wrongly. So that means to sales account 200 to Singh and Co account 200. Nothing was debited. So now tell me the rectification entry. Singh and Co account should have been debited. So I'll debit it. Singh and Co account debit. How much? 200. Sales account is credited. Here also sales account is credited, so I won't bother. Again, Singh and Co account has been credited in the wrong entry for 200 rupees. So if it's credited wrongly, I should do what? Debit. So therefore 200 plus 200 will become what? 400. Nothing is there, so to suspense. It's a one-sided error. Suspense account. Right. 1 second. A sale of rupees 200 to Singh and Co was wrongly credited to their account. Yeah. So therefore, this is right. Yeah. 200 plus 200, 400. Right. I hope you understood this entire sum and there's no other doubts that you have with respect to sum number 18. Till sum number 18 we have done it. So I hope you have no doubts regarding that. Okay. So here we'll also prepare a suspense account just for the, nothing we have to do in suspense account preparation here. See, they have given us to difference in TB. Credit was excess. That means if credit was excess, the balance would come in debit. So to difference in TB, how much? 493. Okay. Then let's see. Suspense account was credited to the extent of 100 because of sales return account, right? So by sales return 100. Okay. Then this is done. Okay. No suspense account. Then we have suspense account was debited to the extent of 7 rupees because of trade payables account. So to trade payable 7, so that we have taken into consideration. And then we have no suspense account. Here there's no suspense account. Next we have suspense account was credited to the extent of 400 because of Singh and Co account. So by Singh and Co 400. So now if we see, the balance is 500 matching. So with this we close our suspense account. Okay. So I hope till question number 18 you are clear. Remaining questions we'll discuss it in the next live session. The live session, mostly I think, seeing the speed today, mostly there will be 3 parts for it. And next part will be held on Monday from same time, 11 to 1. Now if some people are thinking, oh my god, I cannot watch the live session, no issues. It will be in the YouTube channel. We'll make a playlist and we'll keep it. So whenever you do find time, you can watch it. Okay. So if you like the session, please let me know. Like it and subscribe to our channel. More such videos are yet to come. Thank you.